What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the series. Today we got Bryce and Coach Evil getting this one-on-one coaching session.
There we go. Okay. So, got your replay. Let me pull it up and we will hop into it. So, I don't know if you saw what I talked to Groovy about, but for him, we mostly talked about that like rotational stuff of making sure that he gets back a little bit
Yeah.
quicker, because he tended to kind of leave you back and fight for your life. So trying to get
Okay.
him back to help you out a little bit. Um, and then making sure that he's a little bit more patient on his challenges, which is something you like we've all talked about together before, but just something
Right.
individually for him that I'd like him to continue to focus on. So we'll see what happens
Okay.
for you. Skipped you. There we go. So we'll do the same thing. We'll break it down. We'll look at what could you be doing mechanically better, what could we be doing better individually as a player conceptually as well. Just kind of having an individual focus. And then
Yeah.
after this week, whenever we meet next, we'll probably start to resume looking at team stuff. Because I'd like to talk about some more team strategy stuff, but I think it's important to touch on some individual aspects as well of what you guys could individually be working on.
Okay.
And at any point, obviously, feel free to stop me, ask me questions. But let's get started. Okay. Okay, right off the bat. Right off the bat. Let me do one thing real quick. Swap that and that. Okay, so a big thing for you is making sure this is a mechanical thing, but whenever you want to go
Uh-huh.
for an aerial, I really need you to think about aligning yourself before you jump.
Yeah. Okay.
Because that's already happening here and it probably happens pretty consistently is when you jump, right? The ball is going this way, but your car is facing this way.
Right.
So what happens is when you jump, you're not facing towards where the ball is going. It's going this way, and you're boosting this way. So you're boosting towards where it is now. And I need you to boost towards where it's going. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
So trying to
Because then
think
I just
more,
end up missing it.
yeah, trying to think more
Yeah.
about like where it's going next because it's either you miss it or you don't get the touch you want.
Yeah.
But at the point that you're at now, I know that like aerial mechanics, it's like you understand how to aerial, you can aerial. It's just if we make it harder than it needs to be, it might make it difficult to get that shot on target because if you were lined up correctly and you get that on target, there's a good chance you score, right? And then from there, you could also start to experiment with things like double taps. Like this is a perfect opportunity. Obviously, it's not like you're a pro double tapping yet, right? But it's something as you continue to work on other mechanics outside of actual games. Like in this situation, if you're facing where the ball is going, you could hit that to the backboard and try and get a double.
Right.
You could even go and make like a soft touch or go for a flip reset. There's a bunch of things you can do, but you got to be lined up with where that ball is going to be, not where it is now.
Okay.
So really thinking about where's that ball going to go next when you're going for it, so you don't have to tilt your car sideways like that and make
Yeah.
it harder on yourself to try and get to that ball, and then you get the touch, right? But that's not ideal. We don't really
Mhm.
get that anywhere that's very threatening. So after that, we grab the boost. That's all fine. We're rotating back. Good. Groovy does that two-man challenge, right? He commits now that you're behind him, and that allows you
Mhm.
to go, or you can follow it, right? That doesn't matter. If he can follow it, he can follow it, right? And now you get the ball.
Yeah.
So now we decide to go up the wall. I have no problem with that, right? But if we're gonna do that, we gotta get that pop off the wall. When in reality, like if a simpler option for you right now would just be grab the boost. Oh, my mouse hit my keyboard. Grab the boost, and then as that ball
Mhm.
rolls this way, cut it back in and get a dribble.
Okay. Yeah. That would have been a lot easier.
Yeah, because again, we're making things tougher on ourselves than they need to be. We're not lined up with the ball, and then when we have that space, we're trying to do things that are more complicated. If there was a dude chasing you, like that was eating your booty right now, then yeah, go up the wall and then try to make a play off the wall because otherwise he demos you, right? But with this kind of space that you're working with, there's no reason to make it more difficult than it needs to be, especially because you guys kind of have that 2v1 advantage right now where if you shoot, like maybe to be honest here, if you were to boost a little bit wider, you could even shoot. And then
Yeah.
if you miss, then Groovy could try and pick it up because if you miss, it's probably gonna end up somewhere over here, and then it would bounce off
Right.
to him and he could score, right? But you could try and shoot, you could try and dribble, and then you have that man advantage where there's only gonna be one dude back on defense right now as he rushes back because the other guy's just out of the play. So it's
Uh
better
huh.
for you to just stick on the ground and try to use that man advantage instead of trying to go for a solo play off the wall where you're going to throw yourself out of the play.
Yeah.
Because now
Okay.
you're giving them by doing this, you're taking a while, whether you're SSL or not, right? It takes you a while to kind of set this up, which allows them
Yeah.
time to get back. When right now you could be driving towards the net, Groovy could demo that guy, and then you could score.
Right.
To
Okay.
be honest, if you had been on the ground, that guy would have had to slow down, gone demoed, and then you would have just front flipped it into the net.
Uh huh.
Or he would have gotten chased out of the net, and then you would have scored. Oh, what did I click? Oh, I'm on like screenshot mode or whatever. How do I? Okay, that was weird. Let's keep going. So after that, we make our touch in the corner. At least you get that double to kind of slow it down and buy them time. Good two-man challenge. Good job not flipping. I like you not flipping here. The air roll was a little bit unnecessary, but
Yeah.
as long as you don't flip here, I don't really mind. However, if you are going to make that control touch, I want you to make that into space. So I think that's a big concept for today is trying to hit that ball to space. So like what we were
Okay.
talking about earlier with the wall, right? You're bringing it up the wall, which there's not much space to work with. When in reality, you had the entire midfield open to you that you could have worked with. Here, the space that you have is over here. It's not over here. Why is it in one and not in two?
Because he'll get to two pretty quick.
Exactly. He's going to be able to challenge in two, but if you bring it to one, it's a pretty safe place. It buys time for Groovy to get behind you, and then you could even bait the dude into the corner and then try and pop it over him or something, right? But he can't really score
Yeah.
from the corner, and that's where your space is. So that's where you need to be taking the ball because right now you've just kind of handed it to him. Right now he could shoot and he could score from
Right.
this. If he had went a
Right.
little bit quicker, he could shoot and score. So after that, Groovy's doing his thing that we talked about, and he'll continue to get better at this of trying to jump a little bit later. 'Cause he's kind of throwing himself really early. Um, After that, you're in the corner. We touch it. Same idea. Bring that ball to space. Where's your space right now? Is it
Um.
here or is it here?
It was definitely down in the corner.
Down. So should we hit the ball forward or should we kind of stay close to it and let it roll back down?
Yeah. I'd let it roll back down.
Right. So that's the other thing is we don't always need to go forward, forward, forward. Sometimes we can go
Yeah.
sideways, laterally, whatever you want to call it. Right? Like in soccer, you don't just constantly go forward, forward, forward. You bring the ball backwards, then you go back up forward. You wait for an opening, and then you make a play.
Uh huh.
So
Because he's also headed the other way.
exactly. So it's
So.
like if you hit it towards him, he could take it back to his corner. But if you let it roll down the wall, like right here, you stopped and then you kind of let it roll back down. And after that, you could drive down. And then once it rolls up off that like lip part, you could make a light tap, get it on top of your car, start a dribble.
Yeah.
And then whenever he turns, you could flick. And whether
Right.
that guy is back or not, right, that doesn't matter. But it's like at least you get a play opportunity. Or maybe you pass to Groovy, who knows? But there, you're automatically throwing that ball into contested space instead of keeping it in that open space where you have access to it.
Okay.
Thankfully, he kind of gives it back to us because the wall is the enemy. Like a wall, right? The wall right now is an enemy for a lot of players. Um, what you'll notice is whenever someone goes up the wall, they tend to give away possession, right? You did it over there with the air dribble, right? You did it
Yeah.
here, and then this dude just did it there, right? So that's 3 times in 45 seconds, where anytime someone's been up on the wall, they've just given away possession.
Yeah.
So right now we want to stay away from those walls as much as possible, unless like we're forced, right? Like there's that dude chasing you and that's gonna demo you. Yeah, you can roll it up the wall, but otherwise
Uh
take it to
huh.
that open space. Good. We go into the net. Right. We're kind of waiting. I really like this patience here. We're waiting. We're waiting. We're waiting. Okay, let's buy some time for Groovy. Good. And good job not like flipping immediately. So we bought some time for Groovy to get back. Right now that we see him back, we can challenge because if that dude beat you, Groovy's back there. We're chilling. That's fine.
Okay.
And then we didn't like flip until we went for the challenge, so we didn't flip too early either. And then Groovy, I think, just wasn't totally ready for this redirect. It was a pretty good redirect. You got to give him that credit, right? It wasn't
Yeah.
expected. So that kind of stuff happens. That comes down to his reaction speed. The other thing is, as soon as this guy hit the ball, Groovy should be up, kind of thing.
Okay.
Right here, Groovy should be up. So you did your job. There's not much you can do here, right? There's those other opportunities, right, where you had the space where you gave away possession leading up to this play. You had the open net opportunity where if you had dribbled into the midfield, you could have gotten something, right? There's other stuff that could have made up for this, but this part, it isn't really your fault.
Okay.
So that's not really our focus. It's more the other opportunities you missed out on that eventually led to this, right? Because if you had scored, none of
Yeah.
that would have ever happened. The whole game would have been different. Okay, let Ruby go. Good. Good. Good job pushing up with pads. I really love that. Oh no, that should be a goal. I want that to be a goal. Like
Yeah.
9 out of 10 times. It's like, where's that open space?
Left.
Left, right? So let's shoot left.
Yeah. Yeah, I find myself doing that a lot. I just put it straight at him.
So the aim trainer will be something I want you to use. You're on Steam, so you have access to that. So I'll give you the aim trainer. That'll
Yeah.
be something I want you to use and work on really placing those shots. Because if you commit
Okay.
that to the left side, that's in. That's a bullet right in
Right.
the net. Like this should be a goal like 9 out of 10 times, if not 10 out of 10 times. I'd say 9 out of 10 because there's that 10th that happens right where you crossbar it by accident. That happens.
Yeah.
We're not perfect. You see pros do it occasionally, so it's like we can't expect perfection.
Mm.
Good job not flipping again. I really love that you're not like flipping into every challenge.
Uh-huh.
Good job tapping it to Groovy. Let's go back a little bit. So we're at the back post. We hit it to Groovy. Groovy hits it. He kind of throws it out of that open space, right? He should have taken it to the corner, but that doesn't matter. So as soon as you see him hit this, where should you go?
I should come back post
Right,
again.
reset to the back post. That's a big thing.
Yeah.
Is for you. Whenever you see the ball go forward, you tend to drive in that direction.
Right.
And I really want you, and this goes back to that aerial thing as well, is think about where is that ball going to go next? Not where it is now. Where is it going to go next? Because you're continuously driving towards the play and where the ball is now. And then when the ball comes back the other way, right, you then turn in the same direction as where the ball's going, and then you're like, oh shoot, I got to make a
Uh-huh.
save. And you turn back in, and then you don't really get anything. We get lucky he misses.
Yeah.
But if you notice him hit it away, you're like, okay, it's going towards Iron Jungle. It's going away from Groovy. Iron Jungle's probably going to get to it first. I should rotate back post. Then cool, you're here. You do a little loop-de-loop. You're around here. You kind of drive up as you see him go for it. So you'd probably be around here facing the play, and now you cut it off.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Good demo. Same idea again. That ball's going forward now. Right, so as soon as you demo this guy, you see the ball going forward, but is it necessarily going to continue going forward?
Right. No.
No. What's going to probably happen next here?
Probably gonna challenge Groovy.
Right, so either Groovy scores or a challenge happens, and the challenge isn't
Yeah.
going to be like a dunk or something like that. It's going to be a 50-50.
Right.
So we need to be ready for that 50. Are we in a position to be ready for a 50 right now?
Definitely not.
No, right? Like we're in position if it pinches out to our side, but we're not in a position for a 50. So where should we be?
More behind Groovy, I would
Groovy wise,
say.
right? So
Yeah.
if we want, there's kind of two directions we can take. We can either just go behind Groovy here, or we could demo the guy and then turn away. So like you could demo him, and then here, turn this way, and then back out like that.
Yeah. Okay. And then
Or from the
swing
start,
back
you could
around
just
him.
drive like that. But that's up to you, right? It's like whatever you think of and whatever you prefer doing, whatever feels more natural.
Yeah.
But we need to make sure that we're like behind thinking about where's that ball going to go next. Because now that 50 happens, and ideally you should have turned back out like this, been somewhere around here, and now you could turn, face towards it, and then right here you could aerial.
Yeah.
You could aerial, use the right corner of your car, try to put one on target just to see what happens. Make a save. But instead, now you kind of have to back off, and then you settle for like a 50 where the dude misses, and we end up not really 50ing him, but just straight
Yeah.
50ing him. Let Groovy take it. That works well. Kind of have to wait for his touch. So that's just an awkward situation. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think the biggest thing for you is the awareness in this situation. It's something we've talked about in the past, so I don't think it's like I'm just reviewing it. This isn't like a new thing for you, but the idea of active thinking, like right here, you just saw him hit the ball towards you. So as soon as we pick up this pad, we should probably start looking to see what we can do. So turn right here. You could see the ball like coming to you, and you recognize, oh, I'm the only one that's relevant right now, so I should probably go with boost or without boost. And then from there, when that ball comes to you, you could either pass it middle for Groovy, or you could try and take a 50-50 and then Groovy picks it up afterwards. Does that
Okay.
make sense?
Yeah.
But you're kind of just turning your brain off and going straight for boost. As in, like, brain off as in, like, you're like, oh, I need boost more, and you just leave the play. When in reality, you could have beat both of them to it and then just pass it to Groovy instead of Groovy having to do a cross field, boost, flip, get to the ball just to get dunked.
Okay. Yeah.
And then after that, right, you just have to do your best in that situation. So the real preventer is like you should have turned when you saw the ball coming towards you
Mhm.
to try and make a play or at least buy time for Groovy to get in a position for some sort of two-man challenge or whatever you'd like to do.
Is
Again,
that where you're talking about like using the swivel cam?
yeah. So like as you
Kind
go back right here, you could either swivel cam or you could just turn your ball cam off and on. That's what I
of.
tend to
Okay.
do is like I'll
Yeah.
turn it off and on just to kind of keep up with the play as I go for boost. So like I'll turn it
Yeah.
off, look where the boost is, then drive in that direction and then turn it back on. So
Okay.
it's like for me here, because I don't see this one up, I would do something like this. So I would recognize these two pads, turn my ball cam back on, drive here, and then as I pick up this pad, turn ball cam off again and look where I can go next, and then turn it on again because I would recognize these two pads. Or from there, I would have turned back in like that when I saw the ball come like that.
Okay.
Or maybe like this, depending on how fast it's going and if I need to go up the wall or something.
Right.
But yeah, using swivel cam, turning ball cam off and on, and then after, right? Look at this. This is the exact same situation as earlier. Where's our open space?
Corner again.
Corner, right? And what do? You hit it out of that open space into the contested territory. What does he get? The ball. But now look what he's going to do. He just gives it right back, right? So you notice how the
Right.
ball, like every single time someone's on the wall, they just hand away possession.
Yeah.
Now that's not going to happen 100% of the time, but it's very likely. So in a lot of situations, when someone's going up the wall, you don't even really need to challenge. You could try a fake challenge.
Okay.
Unless
That
like
makes
you
sense.
really think they can score from where they are. Like if they're on their half, right, they probably can't score. So like the other
Right.
one where Groovy could have like I said that it wasn't really your fault. Yes, you 50'd and you did your job, but if you wanted to, you didn't even need to go for it. So
Mhm.
that's another option if you want to, is you could have just faked him. So I really like what Groovy did here is like he doesn't really have any open space to work with here, right? But he at least keeps that ball close to him. And that's kind of what I want you to do. Except you had the open space, so I'd want you to like let it roll down like that, and then you stay close to it, so that if any time someone challenges you, you just pop it over them.
Okay. Yeah.
But otherwise, you go down with it and you start your dribble. Groovy did a really, really good job of like controlling it and not flipping here and giving away possession. That's actually the first time this game we've seen someone go off the wall and not just give away possession immediately.
Yeah.
So that was a really good play, and you're in a beautiful position to support. You've done a really good job here as well. Now you kind of have to wait. Look at that. What did he do off the wall?
You just threw it
He just
away.
gave it to you, right? So now you catch it. Now what should we do here?
Should let it come
Yup,
down.
let it come down. And if at any point you see Cornelius turn towards you, so like say you're on the wall, right? That ball starts to fall and you kind of go down with it like that. And at any point you see him turn towards you and get ready, as that ball falls, you intercept and just pop it over him.
Okay. Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Cause he's headed back again, so I
Exactly.
had plenty of time.
So it's either he has two options. He either lets you gain control of the ball or he tries to force you. And if he forces you, then he has to just he'll probably get beat as long as you tap it over him. As long as you're
Yeah.
watching him and paying attention to when he challenges, you can beat him to it because you're infinitely close to the ball, so you'll have a heads up. You could
Uh
obviously
huh.
fake, right? But that's another thing. And then the main thing is I want you to let that ball fall, and if you see him challenge, then you could boom it. Worst case scenario.
Okay.
But right there, we're just throwing ourselves out of position and just kind of wasting boost for no reason.
Yeah.
So after that, you force the flick, grab the boost. Oh, what a save. Good stuff. Okay, so we're thinking about where the ball goes next. We're ready. We're ready. That aerial was much
That.
better in terms of like us being lined up, right? Look at where the ball's going.
Yeah.
Left, we don't have to do as much adjusting. But we over adjusted a little bit and we didn't have our angle set correctly, so we did miss it. In terms angle like up and down, not like left and right like we were talking about before. So again, that just shows us, hey, let's practice our aerials. So we got
Yeah.
mechanically, let's practice our aerials and let's practice our shooting. If we feel like we need to
Okay.
practice our dribbling, we can do that as well. But conceptually, right now, we're thinking about, okay, where's that open space? And then really thinking about where that ball is going to go next.
Yeah.
But other than that, the idea there is perfect. The idea is good. And then the cut is good. Same idea, right? Thinking about this is like, who's pressuring you?
Neither of them.
No one, right? So where's our open
Yeah.
space?
Just forward.
Forwards, right? He's backing away from us. So do we really need to go fast here?
Yeah, it just slowed it down.
Not really. Yeah, we don't need to.
Fix 'em.
We don't need to go fast. We could slow it down. So we could let that ball bounce once, and then we could let it bounce again, and then here we could intercept it and just catch it. And if
Yeah.
at any point we see this guy turn, then obviously we just boom it over him.
hmm
But at least make him do something instead of bringing the ball to him. Because that's kind of what we've done here.
Yeah.
Now we back out. We get ready for our two-man challenge. And then it just goes in the net. No two-man challenge needed there. Oh, he's going for a flip reset. But, so he goes for it, right? But what did he end up doing off that wall? Give away possession.
Giving away.
So we're like,
Yeah.
the whole lobby altogether is like 1-8 for keeping possession off the wall right now.
Right.
I think here, this is something we've already talked about, so I'll just review it, is like, where is that ball? Around their corner? Can we really score from here?
Yeah.
Not really.
No.
And then let's apply, again, the two-man challenges. You're on defense, you need to buy time for Groovy to get back. Those are kind of the two
Yeah.
concepts I'd apply here, because if you hadn't challenged here, that wouldn't have been a goal. Or if you hadn't,
Okay.
like, single jumped. Like, you backed out of it, you recognized it late, but I need you to think about it leading up to the play. Okay, where's the ball? Okay, I'm on defense, Groovy's upfield, let me buy some time instead of going.
Yeah. Okay.
Because there, Groovy almost got back, but if we just need to buy him a little bit more time for that to be okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, those are kind of review concepts, but that's something you guys, obviously you said you haven't been able to play much recently, so I don't expect that to, like, we look at these and it's like, oh, you're perfect at two-man challenges. Not gonna happen.
Yeah.
Look at that, we were lined up for the aerial as easy as it gets. There, we were sort of lined up, but you can see, like, it made it harder because look where you're lined up.
Uh-huh.
And then here, you kind of correct it, but still, that ball is gonna go this way, and you're like that.
Right.
When in reality, I need you to be facing more like this, so you can use that left corner of your car so that when it bounces out, you can hit it with that left corner, and it goes
hmm
that way.
Right.
Like a pool shot or whatever. But that's the big thing, is if you had been angled a little bit more like that, you could have hit it with the corner and tried to put it on target. Is that easy? No. But is it worth at least trying and getting comfortable, like, using? Yeah, worth a shot, so that we don't just kind of hit the ball forward and then that's the end of the play.
Yeah.
That was a fabulous shot. Oh, are we going to go for 1 for 9? Prediction? Or 2 for 9?
He's usually good off the wall when he's got time like that. I would give him 2.
Oh.
Okay. All right. Yep.
Unfortunately, it's a 1 for 9. But
Yeah.
the idea was there. At least he got the first couple touches, right? It wasn't an immediate giveaway. So that one I don't mind as much. So it's like even that other one where you went for the flip reset, I don't mind as much because he didn't just immediately give away. It's not like he just boomed it.
Yeah.
He at least tried to make multiple touches, so I don't mind that as much. What I do mind is like you guys going up the wall or like you in the corner where you're kind of just hitting it away immediately. Or when he's
Yeah.
done
Just
that
first
in the
touch off
past.
the wall, just throwing it away.
It either needs to be that kind of first control touch and you try to make something happen and at least like try to go for an air dribble instead of just booming it. Like have the intent to air dribble, flip reset, double tap instead of just going off the wall and just boom it.
Yeah.
That or just let it roll down, start a dribble.
hmm
Okay, you bought him enough time so he's back, plus you saw that dude make a bad touch, so that was really good for you to challenge. It's like the ball just gets away from him right there, bam, all yours. Ah, so
Ah,
close. It was so
yeah,
close. We had it. It's just we need a front flip or like a diagonal flip instead of a side flip, and we got that.
yeah.
Really good job waiting and let him come to you there. No reason to challenge until there, and you got a good 50. Good beat. Not really a good scoring angle for you, so we can try. I like it. It was close. And it was good you didn't flip or like throw yourself out of the play. It was a really hard scoring angle, right? That's not very doable. It is like doable, but it's not easy. So I like you going for it, but not like throwing yourself out of the play for it. Again, we're seeing that ball go this way. What are you doing?
Good turn back around, come back
Okay,
post
we should probably go back
instead
post
of going
again.
forward.
You're just seeing where that ball goes and you're kind of following it.
Yeah,
And then there, open space is right here. So
right. I didn't need
yeah,
it. Yeah, especially seeing how low boost I was.
yeah. So we could have picked up that pad to the left, and then if we see someone challenge, single jump aerial. Otherwise, try and slow it down, and then try and flick it.
Yeah,
But it's not the end of the world. It's like if someone went for it, we probably would have saved it. Oh, and that's the end of the game. I didn't even notice. So that's right our point. So we got looking. I'm getting faster at this. That's the fastest I've ridden looking. I forgot the four. For looking for space. Okay, so we got
yep,
looking for space, bringing that ball to space. So that's a big one. Two, conceptually, we'll definitely want to work on um, thinking about where that ball's going next. Where ball goes next. Okay, so where ball goes next. And then mechanically, I should probably spell aerials correctly. Aerials.
yep,
Single jump and
definitely.
fast aerial. So I will give you a training pack for this. So I'll give you that. I'll write
Okay.
those up. Um, but that's pretty much it in terms of the replay side, I think, for today on the individual side. So I want you to be working on that moving forward.